Hello and welcome to On Sabbatical with Dr. Crystal. I'm joining you today from Chiang Mai. I am preparing to check out my fifth hotel in Chiang Mai. One of the lessons for a future video is going to be that you have to know that if you want a 21 or 28-day stay in one location, you need to book it not when it's Flower Festival and Lunar New Year, the Chinese Lunar New Year celebration. So, something I learned after the fact. There's always something you learn after the fact. So, today, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Crystal, and thank you for joining me on Sabbatical with Dr. Crystal. I'm here today to kind of just do a final reflection. It's my final 48 hours before leaving Chiang Mai. I'm actually flying out on Wednesday morning. And I just thought this morning as I was laying in bed that I needed to address some questions that I have received from people either in conversation, in the chat, on some of my other platforms, and in person. So today we're going to get into it. And I've titled this episode, I have a notes that you'll see me looking at. I've titled this episode basically The Art of Slow Wellness, Chiang Mai Reflections. So I really want to talk about being mindful, being creative, about healing and restoration, and about some of the simple forms of nourishment that are available here in Chiang Mai. And so, welcome to the channel. If you are a person who's over 40, a woman of color, a person who loves international travel, perhaps you've never slow traveled before, you've never solo traveled before, this is the channel where you get to talk about and create community around women who are doing all these things. I'm in the middle of a phenomenal series called Before, During, and After Sabbatical Lives Before, During, and After. And I have a great episode. They'll be coming out soon with one of my favorite YouTubers, Dr. Davia. But what I want to do is continue or resume doing weekly live streams. And so this is my attempt to get back on track with one of my 2026 goals for the channel by going live. So if you would tell me where you're watching from, if you're in the chat, and if you can hear me, or if you have any questions about Chiang Mai or about slow travel or sabbatical life. So basically, I'm leaving on Wednesday. And so I thought if I didn't get to some of these questions now, I would probably never answer them. I have a habit of intending to do certain topics, and then you find out you don't actually get around to doing the topics. So therefore, I am going to focus on sharing some of that wisdom with you today. So the first thing that I want to say is that Thailand is known as the land of smiles. And that is its reputation because the people here are people who are basically part of a culture of respect, that you would smile and greet someone. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're trying to be like, like your best friend. It just means it's a polite way to greet people, is that people will smile. As a Black woman who's in Thailand, as some of you may know from my last live stream, I started in Bangkok. I actually didn't leave the house a lot in Bangkok, but what I can say is that when I did leave the house in Bangkok, the people in the building and in the neighborhood who got to know me, they were so kind and so considerate and so polite. Those that spoke English were really excited to dialogue with me at whatever limited English they had. And I actually felt really bad because of course, I couldn't return the favor and share my limited Thai. I knew like three. I came here knowing 2 expressions, but mispronouncing them. And I'm leaving knowing 3. I could say hello, thank you. And now I can say hello, thank you, and see you later, which is actually more like good luck, I learned. Saying goodbye is not a thing here. So my perspective as a Black woman over 50 actually visiting Thailand is that you are going to feel that cultural value of what they call Mai Pen Ra, which is don't worry about it. And it's going to allow you to relax and really enjoy a sense of community and a sense of inclusivity. And it is also a place that has so many local expat groups. So there's a sense of safety that so many people talk about coming to Chiang Mai. I know coming to Thailand in general, but Chiang Mai specifically, I personally did a lot of research and heard about it, and I experienced that as well. Another big thing that people talk about in coming to Thailand or choosing Thailand is the place for health and wellness on a budget. So, medical tourism for people over 50 in particular, there's a number of wellness checks, really for women of any age, but particularly for women over 50, where you can get those wellness checks done at a really reasonable cost. And I mean very extensive, comprehensive lab work, and get the results the same day. I didn't personally take advantage of that because I didn't come here for that. I thought about it, but I ended up deciding to pass on it this time. I might actually take advantage of it because they're also known for that in Malaysia, and I'll be in Malaysia in about 6 weeks. When I leave here, I'm going, as some of you know, to Vietnam, and then after Vietnam to Malaysia. So I haven't really decided. So another question that I often get is Chiang Mai safe? Not just Chiang Mai, but any place as a solo traveler, as a woman of color, do you feel safe? So absolutely. Not only do you not have to really hear or do much around crime or feel like you could literally leave things, valuable things, someplace and then go, for example, in a hotel lobby, you could leave your stuff somewhere and go somewhere to take care of something else. So I live in a hotel this week where there's a dry cleaner. So I was on my way out the door and I said, oh, let me leave my stuff here. And then I went back with the dry cleaning stuff and I didn't have to worry that everything would be there. Just petty theft just is not a cultural value here. If you're around a lot of expats and international people, you might need to be a little bit more cautious. But if you're in a local Thai facility, people are not really bothering your stuff. And that can be evidenced, honestly, by the culture of Grab. Grab is a food delivery app similar to like Uber Eats, where you order food and it's basically left downstairs on a table, sometimes outside a building, but in the hotels, usually it's inside the building within the purview of the front desk. But they're not like staring at it or watching it or anything. And I've never heard anybody, and I've ordered delivery, I would say not daily, but almost daily, no less than every other day. I've ordered breakfast, lunch, or dinner from Grab or a snack or whatever. And I've never had it not be exactly where it was supposed to be. And so in that sense, I think it's definitely safe. I also don't walk around after dark by myself, but there are plenty of women of color who do. I'm not a night person. I'm not a be outside after dark person anyway, even in the US and in places that I know. The few times that I have gone out and have come back in a Grab car ride, I've seen plenty of people solo, young and old women outside. And so I do think that's definitely something that is fine if you wanted to walk somewhere in your neighborhood. You would just, obviously do your due diligence for wherever you have selected your hotel. Now, I ended up staying in two different places. I stayed in the Old Town when I first got here in Chiang Mai, and that is an area with a lot of tourists and a lot of international tourists. You'll hear all kinds of languages being spoken. So definitely, that's probably not as safe. And it's a place that's very crowded because they have night markets and things. And so from that regard, you might want to be a little bit more diligent. But I've also stayed in Niman, which is a suburb area, about 15 minutes outside of the old city. It tends to be a place with a lot of commercial real estate, a lot of like Airbnbs. There's actually 3 or 4 really nice malls. I've only been to 2 of them. One of them I go to every week for a Wednesday co-working session. And same thing is true. Like they have these chairs where you can get a massage. You can put your stuff down and go sit there and get a massage. Like you can see your stuff, but it's not necessarily like somebody could grab it if they were thinking about that. But I did that many times. Same thing in the food court. You can leave your stuff, go. So you order your food, you get a ticket, you go sit down. And when you go back up to get your food, you can leave all of your stuff right there. And I tend to carry, I forget what it's called, a wallet where there's a strap around my waist. So it's always actually with me. And there's literally nothing in that bag, but usually some tissues, some lip gloss, and hand sanitizer and my wallet. So, but I've also left it behind. on the table before to get up and go to another table and get napkins or, the fish sauce or something like that. So it's a lifestyle here where you don't have to be paranoid. And I love that about this particular community, that you can feel really safe doing most things. So I'm really grateful for had an opportunity to be here for that. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Let me look at my list one more time. So one of the other questions I've had someone ask me that I think is a really good question is, how do you know that Chiang Mai is the right stop for you, or Thailand is the right first place? I ended up choosing Bangkok first because I have a friend there, Dr. Davia. You've heard me talk about that. I've also been interviewed on her channel talking about my stay in Bangkok. And I don't know if I've ever reposted that, so I'll have to take a look. But the reality is, I choose to go within every country in a landing place that feels like a soft landing. So my goal is rest, restoration, and reflection. That to me is the quintessential mantra of a sabbatical life, is where you're going to get the most rest, where you're going to be able to feel restored, and where you're going to have the time and energy to reflect. So Bangkok, honestly, is not what you envision when you think about rest. It is the busiest, noisiest probably place in all of Thailand. I could be wrong, but that's my assumption. It's sort of like being in New York City versus Chicago. Actually, Chicago is probably way bigger than Chiang Mai. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact population of Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is the second largest city in Thailand, and it is a city, but it's not a city like Bangkok. I think Bangkok has 12 million people, and I want to say Chiang Mai may have 1 million to 1.5 million people. So I heard that from a Grab driver, so don't quote that. Let me know in the comments if you know the exact size of the population in Chiang Mai. This hotel is near an airport, so I don't know if you can hear the planes landing and taking off near me, but I apologize for that. Hopefully, the AI functions that edit this tape will have an opportunity to take that out. Noise canceling, I guess. So I chose Bangkok first for that reason. If I were choosing based on my mantra for sabbatical life, rest, restoration, and reflection, I would have chosen Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is known the world over because of its position. I don't know a lot about how the chakras work around the world, but just like there are 7 chakras in your body, if you've taken a yoga class, you may have heard that before. But these energy fields exist on the planet Earth, and they kind of look like a wave formation. I saw a video about this. I can't think of his name. Oh gosh. So he is a young 25-year-old YouTuber who does apartment tours, and he interviewed somebody just about a month ago that was talking about these energy centers around the earth. And that's one of the reasons why people who are health and wellness gurus come here to study, to rest, to have their sabbaticals, because of the physical position of Chiang Mai on the planet Earth. And there are some other places, I think 6 other places, there's 7 places where these energy fields that are sort of like known internationally exist. And I will say this, that the types of activities that you can do in Chiang Mai are so diverse and so aligned with people seeking meditation and commune with nature, communing with God, and deepening their spiritual walk. Thailand is a Buddhist country, but there are people here from all faiths who are visiting and seeking and finding what they want in terms of spiritual growth and development based on, their own faith practices. So if you're not sure where your first stop is, I have created a tool, because this has come up in other places that I've been, called the Start Smarter Custom Travel Guide. And I will put a link in the first pinned comment to share more about that. I've had other videos where I've talked about it, but basically it is a service and product where you answer some questions about sort of what you're looking for and what your vision is for your sabbatical or your next international slow travel experience. And I come up with not one, but two itineraries for you that would meet those goals. And I actually talk with you in a session about 45 minutes about my recommendations and why I think those would work for you. And you're not obligated to book those trips, but I think it will provide some insight for you if you didn't want to book those specific itineraries. Either one of them, you could do a blend of the two, or you could find something similar. You know what to look for, you know what questions to ask. So this is why I created this, what I'm calling the Start Smarter Custom Travel Guide, because rather than starting with the whole world as your oyster like I did, you can start smarter and faster and within your budget, because cost is always a factor, and within the time of year that you want to go and the length of your sabbatical. So with those specific limitations or constraints, you can have someone who has traveled. So this is my 11th country. And in a week, when I get to Vietnam, that will be my 12th country. And 10 of those are since I retired in June of 23rd. So really, I've basically been making up for lost time. So basically, I want to say that to me, the next step for you, if you are thinking that this is something you want to do, or really your first step, is what I call the vision assessment. You know, the soft bridge is to have someone like me create a custom travel guide for you. However, you can also just get clear on what it is you want to do, feel, and how you want to be, which is a version of feel. For example, I would not have written that I wanted to practice poetry. I wrote poetry when I was like in high school. And I know my mom had a book of poems that she often would like write poetry sometimes to relax, something that was really important to her. And she also collected books of poems of other Black poets. When she died, I inherited a few books that she had curated that are very, very dear to me. But I didn't know that I wanted to write poetry again. It's only because it was available to me and I have the pace of life to be able to take advantage of that. So I would say you want to think about what are some things that maybe you've been dreaming of. I'm sorry, I didn't grab any water. I should have grabbed some water when I got online, and I didn't. So the last thing I'm going to do is try to show you some pictures. I don't know if this is going to work out to show you these pictures, but I am going to try. It says that I can share my screen. We'll see. Okay. Window. Okay, here we go. Let's see, entire screen. Maybe I should do entire screen. No, window. So the pictures, to set these up a little bit, that I'm going to be sharing. This first picture is, these are all pictures from my most recent and my favorite event in Chiang Mai. So I had a farm to table experience. I actually put a few of these pictures in my community post on yesterday when I came back. But this event was sponsored by Aqua Aura Farms. And the young lady is a U.S. expat, and she and her co-partner or co-manager created a wonderful curated experience. And this is the garden that we picked the vegetables from that we ate in a green curry. So that was one picture. And then let me see if I can find the other picture. So this is us. Let's see if this will go. Let's see, share screen. Window. Okay, this is going to be a little bit disjointed. Sorry about that. So this is a picture of the bok choy that you were just looking at in the field. So someone was responsible for rinsing it, and this young lady was responsible for cutting it up. And then I have another picture of what I was responsible for, which is the green beans. Let's see. Going to do this again. Sorry. It looks like I have to do these one at a time. Sorry about that. It's not the most efficient way, but it's my first time trying this. I hope it works out. So this is a picture of the person who was across the table doing the bok choy. Next to me, I shared a bowl with green beans and eggplants. And then these are the green beans. This was my little station. And go to the next picture, which is going to be the actual green curry being made. And so this is a picture of the folks that are at the prep station. Here we go. And so this picture is really, because here you can see the young man who actually put together the curry base, and then they added the vegetables and they cooked it down. This is the cabbage. There was also a red rice. I'd never had red rice before. It was really phenomenal. And so this is the finished product. He's actually serving it up in bowls. And I have one picture, which is a picture of the actual end of the experience, which is the bowl of soup, the finished product. Do I have that picture? No. I actually do have it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I will have to put the finished product later. But I do have one other picture I want to show you, which is the team of folks who were there. So the young lady with the dog, this is Solar. She is the curator of the experience and the owner of the business. And they are going to be doing monthly pop-ups in Chiang Mai. It's a new business. And this is Dr. Ting, who is a Thai herbal medicine doctor. His wife, who is a a licensed medical doctor in Thailand, does a wonderful assessment, a clinical assessment of your symptoms and your concerns. I'm sorry. I'm talking and I never hit the share screen button. I'm sorry. You don't see what I'm seeing. Let me back up. That's the beauty of live stream. Okay. So this is Solar the dog, and this is Ali. She is basically the curator and founder of the company. And then her co-partner right here was also heavily involved. So this was their second farm to table experience. And there was also a workshop about making bricks from clay to build houses sustainably. And that was a wonderful workshop as well. I only attended part of it. And so this is the group who gathered for the farm to table experience. And then right behind her, holding her hand, this is Dr. Chin, who is the traditional Thai herbal medicine doctor who I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. I'm going to show you some of the products that I was able to obtain as a result of he and his wife's diagnosis and whatnot. So I got some vitamins. And unfortunately, I don't have my notes here, so that were available. It's like going to an apothecary. So they have a process that they use where they extract oils from herbs, and then they use some type of hydro process with steam to collect the, sediment that comes from the process. And then that goes into this clear liquid that ends up being something that you drink instead of water. And there's a little stopper here. And so I basically talked about, problems I've been having. I have arthritis, stiffness in the morning, difficulty with, swelling or extensive walking, steps, things of that nature. So basically, this is what was prescribed. And so I take this little dropper, put it into a glass of water, and I'm supposed to do that 3 times a day. Then I have these vitamins to take. And then also something I took advantage of in Chiang Mai. So that was basically the conclusion of that experience. But then yesterday on Sunday, I went to the Sunday market, which is also where the night market is, and also ended up getting this turmeric oil, which I'm really excited to start using. It was such a great price. Honestly, I should have bought 4 or 5 of these, but turmeric oil is also something that I learned is something really good to massage your joints with when you're having any type of inflammation. When I first arrived here, another thing that's really big in Thailand that people have heard of is doing massages. And so I went to this place called Leela, which I've done some shorts on my Instagram channel with that. But they sell this sort of, it's kind of a form of Tiger Balm, but like the homemade version. But the women who are formerly incarcerated, this is a reemployment program for people who are formerly incarcerated, women in particular, they make this and sell this for about 109 baht, which is like $4. The Tiger Balm itself is more expensive and a bit stronger. So these are the types of products that I've been able to have access to. Also in Chiang Mai, something else that I'm going to miss a lot is going to be the folks in my writing club. You all have heard me talk about that. They had a wonderful farewell for me at my last session on Wednesday. My dear teacher and our facilitator, Sabrina Coates, gave me this lovely book of prompts, which I have started reading. She wrote me this lovely card. And then this cute little book has it's a journal. And then they each wrote me, every person in the class wrote me a little message. And then this is very special too, because this is a journal that's made out of paper that comes from elephant dung. So some of you all know that the elephant is a very special and sacred creature here in Thailand, and Chiang Mai in particular has elephant sanctuaries everywhere. It's a very popular thing to do for people who are outdoorsy, or even are not outdoorsy. Go see the waterfalls, go see the elephant sanctuaries. Sabrina is also the person that did the herbal tea workshop that I took advantage of. Really enjoyed that. So many wonderful wellness experiences took place for me here in Chiang Mai. I will honestly remember these 6 weeks probably for the rest of my life. I can't imagine going to another place on earth that I would have loved as much as I have loved here. Some of the challenges of being in Chiang Mai, if I'm completely honest, for me have been that the sidewalks, the navigation, it's not a flat city. And like a lot of places, the sidewalks are not necessarily to scale. I had the same problem in Mexico. So you might find the uneven walkways a challenge if mobility is an issue, or especially as you're aging. You just gotta have to be really careful to have supportive shoes, to watch where you're going. Another reason I don't go places after dark. Another thing that I found very challenging here is the housing. I talked about that at the opening of the video. So if you're going to come and you're going to stay for 90 days, as I did, I spent 6 weeks in Bangkok and 6 weeks here. You want to make sure that you are securing housing where even if you're changing from week to week. So I basically changed hotels every 5 to 7 days. There was one place I stayed 9 days, but almost every place else was 5 to 7 days, which isn't too problematic. I mean, I think you just adjust. I mean, part of traveling is learning to be flexible. I knew coming in, because I only had the first 3 lodging booked. It is a place that you can easily find a week's lodging from place to place. The benefit of that is that you get to experience different neighborhoods or different styles of hotels. And then it doesn't get old, but I really missed having a kitchen. I feel like if I had planned this better, I could have gotten one place for 3 months, and I would have had a kitchen that I could cook. So the 6 weeks that I was in Dr. Davia's condo in Bangkok, of course, I did cook quite a bit, maybe once or twice a week. Not a whole lot, but some, not even as much as I normally would. But what I realized is that not being able to cook a meal for myself was really problematic over time. What I did was I made do with sandwiches. I bought fresh bread and I bought lunch meat. There's a refrigerator and a kettle. They have those packs of noodles, which are really good quality here, the dried noodles, where you can put hot water. And then I would supplement that with either salad vegetables or other things that would be on the hotel breakfast bar. I had some amazing Thai food in the hotel breakfast bar. Probably some of the best food I ate, honestly, was, and I stayed at the hostel, the Common Good Hostel in Old Town, in a private room with a private bath for only $31 a night. And a wonderful free breakfast, really great fresh ground coffee available all day. And they had this huge open patio with amazing Wi-Fi and a cafe next door where you could listen to their live music or recorded music all the time. It was really wonderful. So a lot of the videos that I posted are from that cafe. Fern Forest Cafe is one of my favorites. So I am going to wrap it up for now. If you have questions about Chiang Mai and about Thailand and about sabbaticals, feel free to reach out to me and leave your question in the comment. My contact information is in the description for the channel. I look forward to also inviting you to be part of my free school community, which is where women of a certain age and experience are getting together to talk about travel. I launched it early this month, and would love to have conversations with you over in my school community. The link for that will also be available after this post, and on Substack. That's another great place to reach me and find out what's going on. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best. Bye. Peace and blessings.